Let's go. Right, so first things first, the elephant in the room. Kahunas is being an absolute ball bag at the moment. We're all aware of it. It is painful, it's annoying. Rest assured, some strongly worded emails have been written. We're all in the same boat. It's as bad for us as it is for you guys. So just, yeah, all we can do is honestly just ask for your patience. And yes, we're well aware your calories are not 4,000 today. And hopefully it looks like they are pulling an all-nighter to try and rectify it. But I am not an app designer, nor can I write code. I've got absolutely no idea how they keep getting it so wrong, but neither could I do a better job. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. We just have to put our faith in others that hopefully this glitches will make for a better end use at the point that it actually fucking works, and then it will be glorious. But we just have to go through the teething process and yeah, hope for the best and exercise patience, which I've not been great at doing today. So do as I say, not as I do, because I feel like I could just murder somebody with the way my Monday has been, but we're getting used to it. My Mondays always seem to be going like this at the minute. But right, let's dive in. And I think so. I had to restart my entire laptop the other day, which means that I think we're back to how this should actually work. So, can everybody see my screen? If somebody could just pop that in the chat that you can actually see this. And yeah, then we can crack on. Can everybody see it? Yeah, perfect. Oh, we're getting quicker on this, guys. Oh, hang on. What's that? Right, let's make it bigger. Right, so I just wanted to go through. There was obviously a lot of chat earlier about different supplements and what people are doing, what people are choosing. So I thought, you know what? It's probably a good topic for us to cover off in today's session and then hopefully answer some questions that you might have on this area. Now, supplements are exactly what they say. They are supplements to your diet and they shouldn't really be used to replace food. The one thing I would say, the slight caveat, I don't think there are many of you, but if you are vegan or vegetarian, supplements are probably more important to you than even if you're pescatarian, as an example. You will naturally get more balance in nutrients through your food. And obviously, as a meat eater with the biggest amount of variety, you will get significantly more of these nutrients through your food as well. But if you are vegan or vegetarian, you might find that you do have limitations of what you can get through your nutrients. So that's where it may become slightly more important. But this is it. They can fill nutritional gaps and enhance specific areas of your health and performance. I would focus for sure on a balanced diet. So that's obviously what we're teaching you inside of this program. We want to make sure simple things like we're trying to aim for 5 fruit and veggies a day. We are trying to get our hydration up to make sure that we're hitting 3 liters of water a day, adequate sleep, and hitting your exercise and your steps. All of these things are way more important than the supplement positioning. So if you're feeling like, oh my God, I've already got a lot to focus on and which is right, what's not right, it may well be that you just don't need to worry about this at this moment in time. This could be a later thing, or it might not be a necessary thing. So it's better to work out once your foundation is there, then you can start adding some additional bits in. And that's what I want to look at it like. So it's not that every single one of you suddenly now needs to go away and buy all of this. I would work on the foundations, getting those right, and then we supplement on top. So let's start with protein powder. Now, I'm pretty sure the majority of you guys have either got a whey protein or a whey isolate in your cupboards. Now, This is the one when you need to reach in excess of 100 grams of protein a day. This can be a fantastic tool. One, it's super fucking quick. Two, it's highly convenient where you can add it into things that you are already eating. So if you're already having Greek yogurt, you can easily mix some protein powder in. If you're already having porridge oats, you can easily mix some protein in. That is literally my everyday breakfast. I don't have the time to whack up some of these great big incredible meals. I literally put 300 mils of milk in, or almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, if I am cutting and going into a diet phase, a deficit, let's say pre-holiday or something like that. If I'm bulking in the winter, then I obviously want more calories because I'm building a booty. That's the goal. So what I'll do is literally put, and you can do it with water as well if you really want to conserve on the calories, 300 mils in a blender thingy with 35 to 40 grams of oats, and then I put my protein powder in, blend the whole thing up, and I literally just chug it back in a few minutes, and then I take the dog out on a walk. That's it. You could make that, take it in your car, drive to work, have it at your desk, or you could have it at home if you're working from home, or you could have it on the move. Do you know what I mean? It is the quickest way of actually doing anything. Obviously, I know a lot of you again have got the Whey Isolate, which all you do is add it to your water. Make sure you are adding enough water. That is obviously something just to bear in mind. It needs a lot of water in order to break that down. Whereas the normal protein powder is a little bit more easily digestible. So that's just again something to bear in mind. But this is it. If you want to add that extra boost to try and get over 100 grams. But I would say you want to try and aim for the first 100 grams, at least 80 you want to try and get from whole food. So you're talking your lean meats, so your chickens, your turkeys, Greek yogurt, tofu, lentils, beans, eggs. There are so many foods that are high in protein that we should be aiming for that. And then it is just the protein powder to supplement and get you slightly over the top. So that's just a consideration. Creatine. Lots of questions in the like nobody ever seems to know of creatine until you step into the world of lifting weights. That's where it becomes very highly talked about. Now, creatine looks a bit like, don't quote me on this, I've actually never seen it in real life, but I imagine it's what cocaine looks like. It's very white, it's in a powder form, like it looks like perfect snow, essentially. And creatine is actually fantastic for what it does is when you're lifting weights, the water starts to leave your muscles and you want to replenish that. So that's exactly what it's doing. It's helping you to build muscle. It's actually the most widely researched supplement on the planet. So you won't actually find anything that's more researched, but there's also been a lot of evidence recently and a lot of research done into the cognitive correlation between taking creatine and how your brain is actually responding to the creatine. So it's making people think faster. It's making, because the brain is another muscle, right? And it's making you think to go, right, okay, and your reaction time speed up. So there is actually, and especially again for shift workers, night workers, if you're working long hours, there are actually a lot of benefits to taking creatine. It's also super fucking cheap. You can buy it anywhere online. You can also buy it even places like Holland and Barrett's. Do you know what I mean? You can buy it from like healthy food stores. I personally, if you are going to start taking it, aim for the 5 grams a day dosage. You can actually, it's like there is a way to front load it where you take significantly higher amounts, so more like 20 grams for the first week or two. That's to speed it up, getting in your system. But nobody in here is a bodybuilder. You don't need to take that concept. So you can literally do what I do. I add it into my protein powder and I blitz it around my blender and it goes in with my oats and my milk. Done. You can add it to coffee. You can add it literally to anything. You can just have it with water if you just want to drink it back. It's flavorless. That's easily done as well. So I probably would recommend creatine. You will find it again in red meat and fish, salmon, tuna, herring. So some of you again might organically be getting creatine, but having that supplement's not the end of the world. So they're the two that I would say most of you would benefit from having. But again, don't freak out. If you want to get your protein or your creatine organically, that's fine too. So omega-3 fatty acids, fish oil, again, I'd be amazed if any of you guys haven't heard of omega-3 and the benefits to your heart health, to your brain function, inflammation reduction. So again, this one's the one that comes in those yellow tablets. Typically, you can actually buy the oil. My mum used to do that when I was a kid, and she would literally just take like, it's foul. Don't do it that way. Unless you're like, I don't know, if you want to do it that way, crack on. But I can tell you now, it's not very nice. So I think if you are going to do it, take the capsule. But again, it is found in salmon. So like Pip and I, we will always be eating our salmon. Do you know what I mean? I have salmon every single week in my diet religiously, and we buy massive, great big chunks of the stuff. So really good for you. I'm perfectly fine eating sardines out of a tin as well. You will find me doing that. I've said that a few times, I think, to people this week, but that's last week, sorry, but that's it. You can get it in a lot of those kind of slightly oilier fishes, but walnuts, seeds, flaxseed, do you know what I mean? Again, you can get omega through your diet, and this is one where even the vegetarians and the vegans will be able to find that as well. Vitamin D for your bone health, your immune function, and your mood. So again, if in the winter you will often find that vitamin D supplement might well like become actually quite favorable to you. I had a friend who lived in Australia, came to the UK, and it became quite clear she had a vitamin D deficiency just by living in the UK. We don't have the sun that those guys have. So that could be a consideration more so in the winterier months where you just want to top that up. But again, fatty fish, egg yolks, fortified food like your milk, your cereals, all of that. So you can naturally and organically take in vitamin D as well. But it's just, you might want to supplement that. Magnesium, again, quite a commonly known supplement as well. So I know some of you ladies inside of the program were talking about this one this morning and whether you take it or not. This can also be really helpful for anyone that's got a very challenging menstrual cycle. So if you really struggle with your like cramping, things like that, then magnesium is a big one that could actually aid with that. But it's supporting your muscle function, energy production, and better sleep as well. They're all correlated. Um, so, and it's quite good, like it's quite an easy one to take. But again, if you eat spinach, so what we actually do, anytime I make a spag bol, a curry, a chili con carne, any of those things, I whack spinach in as the last thing I do, and I just sit it on top of the pot while it's all cooking away, and then I'll just mix it in at the very end. And for me, I can't taste it inside of that food. So the food's quite strong, already flavoursome with a chili or a curry, something like that, but you're just immediately getting those leafy greens inside of you. So kale, again, your nuts, your seeds, your whole grains. So quite a nice one to just get in through your food. And a lot of you will be doing that already. But I think if there's one thing you add to your diet, spinach is absolutely key. And we've all seen Popeye. I should have put a Popeye photo on there. So I also wanted to touch on, we've got some perimenopausal ladies inside of the program. So some of the areas that they could actually benefit from as well. So it's no secret as women age that our bone density starts to decrease. There's nothing we can actually do about this. It's organically taking place within our bodies. It's also happening far quicker to us as women as it would for men. Theirs does decrease too. So again, if any of you are married or partners, husbands with men, this is another thing that, do you know what I mean? It would actually benefit everybody. So calcium and vitamin D are going to support that bone density, but also for that perimenopausal phase. So anyone, I would argue 35 upwards, it doesn't necessarily mean you're perimenopausal, but your bone density does start to decline at a faster rate when you are. So up to that kind of 55 mark, that's when, so that kind of 20-year window is where you might see it happen the quickest. So again, your leafy greens, they are very, very good for you guys. And even things like your fortified plant-based milks, normal milk, you're obviously going to get a lot of calcium in there as well. So making sure that you're hitting your calcium and your vitamin D is going to be really beneficial. Again, your omegas, and we've also got the B vitamins in here as well. So B6 and B12 are very highly researched for supporting perimenopausal women. So your energy levels, your mood regulation, again, around anybody in that kind of phase that's going through that stage of their life, that's going to be really beneficial. But if you're eating a normal diet of eggs, poultry, cereals, even nutritional yeast. So again, that's a perfect one for the vegans, anybody that's vegan and perimenopausal, that will be really beneficial. So what we also want to have a look at is so this one was going around this morning, your ashwagandha, that one. I'm sure somebody knows how to say it, but let's just call it ash. So this is not necessarily just for perimenopausal women. Again, you could make a good argument for the fact that inside of this program, we are working with stressed career women, where a bit like my day today has been firefighting left, right, and center. Nothing quite goes to plan. Your stress levels are going to be significantly higher just by nature of what a lot of us do. So again, it could help you with managing that stress level and those cortisol levels. But simple things, like I say, eating before you train, if you train first thing in the morning, also going to reduce those cortisol levels. We want to maximize those being as low as we can, because cortisol elevates your fat, basically keeping hold of those fat pockets. And that's the opposite thing to what all of us want to do. We want toned physiques and we want to not hold on to that body fat. But stress, anxiety, improving that your body's natural stress response, and it may enhance sleep quality and reduce fatigue. So it is recommended 300 to 600 milligrams per day, ideally in the evening ahead of going to sleep. Now, this is one of those where I would say, if you're going to try it, try it. It may work for you, it may not work for you. There's no dangers in taking it. The side effects, nothing like that is going to be really extreme, but you may be one of the women that takes it and sees absolutely no different. It may have a placebo effect where you take it and you feel like because you're taking it, you're doing something for you, or it might genuinely work for you. So it's just a consideration that if you do feel like your stress levels are exceptionally high and you're taking a long time to fall asleep, this could help you, as well as obviously the magnesium. Collagen, also not a bad thing to be taking, again, at any of our phases in life. Like, we don't have too many youngsters in the program. So again, this could be something that could be beneficial to you. More so, I would say, not to do with actual strength training muscles. It's not actually directly to do with that. This is more of a skin elasticity and a joint health. Again, the kind of things that impact aging. But again, you could take bone broth. M&S do a fantastic bone broth. Waitrose also do one. Actually, it's Waitrose, not, no, it is M&S. But Waitrose will have them. Most of the supermarkets will do bone broth. Bone broth is also fantastic when you are poorly, if anyone's really sick, and you literally just boil up. We've done it before when we've been really poorly. Just boil up the carcass of a chicken for hours. And I'm talking, you can literally leave it in a slow cooker for like 8 hours with loads of stock. Add some noodles, add some flavors, some veggies go in there as well, and you've got your bone broth. And I tell you what, it tastes fucking great. For the vegans, skip that one. But chicken skin, fish skin, again, they've got those collagen benefits. Black cohosh, some evidence suggests it might help with hot flushes and mood swings, but again, not as widely researched. So it's that kind of thing where you might choose to try it. But I would say in that instance, you might be looking at HRT, you might be looking at other things that come from the doctors instead. So just bear that in mind. But look out for third-party testing. So if you are going to take things, look out for your NSF certified informed choice USP. Those are the big players in the market where they've actually done the research. It's all been tested correctly, and you know what you're actually taking is going to be of benefit. Try and avoid supplements with proprietary blends. So they might have hidden ingredients found inside of them. So if anybody goes to the US, I was actually following it on Grace Beverly's story the other day, and she was talking about the fact she actually had a protein bar, just a normal shop bought protein bar. It's not legal to do this in the UK, by the way, but if you are traveling anywhere, there's actually traces of lead inside of that protein bar, and it is actually written on the packaging that there could well be traces of lead inside of that product. So you got to be careful if you're trying to buy things from overseas. Make sure you do get familiar with packaging when you're trying to find some supplements. But yeah, you want to look at those transparent ingredients labels, check dosage again against research-backed recommendations. Um, so again, as a reminder, it's just to enhance your health and fitness, but they're not magic bullets. They're not something that's immediately going to change everything to you. So we want to get those strong foundations with our nutrition, our sleep, and our exercise first. Supplements are more for a little bit later in your journey. So if you are brand new, feeling overwhelmed, you don't want to be suddenly buying out or spending a ton of money on things that you might not even necessarily need. Again, we've already been through the perimenopausal women and what could offer them some benefits as well. But if you really feel like you've got any major cause for concerns with energy levels, or do you know what I mean? Some people do, or you feel like there's something amiss, then you probably do need to go and see a GP. Again, for perimenopausal women, where you feel like your body is completely out of balance, they can help with that too. But yeah, evaluate your supplements. Don't try and add in a million one things at once as well. So it's a little bit like, I can't remember who said it earlier. It might have been Rachel, but forgive me if I'm wrong. But where somebody said they actually brought a supplement in at the same time as starting this program. And they were like, now, I don't know if it's just the program that's obviously made all of these, like her endometriosis, like all of that better, or if it's a supplement. But this is it. Try not to bring in a million and one things. But I can guarantee if you get your nutrition better on point, your whole everything, your energy levels, your focus, your speed, your everything will get stronger and better. And again, add spinach into everything. It's just life. So, does anybody have any questions about supplements or anything that they'd like to share with anybody else? Any experiences having used anything that you think, oh, like that's yeah. So Laura said she's got creatine gummies and they're really nice. I've actually not tried them as a gummy, but that's a great idea. And again, you can get a lot of these vitamins and supplements as a gummy form. So if you're somebody, and the same for your children as well, but again, you probably rather teach your children rounded nutritional habits, good sleep, health, like just healthy habits in general. But yeah, you could definitely do that as gummies as well. Brandy's overload, not sure what that one. Oh, where your creatine gummies are from. Does creatine come in tablet form or just powder? So yeah, there you go. Kat's already answered that. So protein gummies or tablets or powder. Like I say, a supplement as widely researched as creatine is going to come in all of the forms available. What do you recommend eating if training first thing? I don't generally fancy, exactly as Rachel said, a small banana. That is going to be the answer to your prayer, even if you can only consume half of the banana, just enough to get your stomach away from being empty. And I know, and I used to do the same thing. Bearing in mind, I train first thing in the morning for my first, I'd say at least 6 months of my lifting journey. I was training completely fasted and of the viewpoint that it would make me feel really sick if I tried to put something into my stomach first thing in the morning. And then I moved on to half a banana. And then I started getting really strong and a lot heavier with what I could lift. And I would get halfway through my squat sets or something like that. And I would be ravenous, thinking, fuck, that half a banana has not done the trick. Now I could quite easily eat a full banana and a Rice Krispie square. And do you know what I mean? Take in a good 350 calories before I even start lifting. And I always keep a snack in my bag because hungry Ash is not worth meeting. Squares bars are really good. They're definitely really good. The only consideration is I think it is 157 calories per one. But if you like that, and it also depends if you want that sweet treat. So I have the chocolate flavored ones, and I can consume that at 6 o'clock in the morning. If I ever need to train pre 6 o'clock, it's going to get too sweet for me with that chocolate, that like sugary feeling, and I'm not going to be able to eat it, but I could eat a banana. So it's also considering what you guys can put into your body at that time. I know some people could eat chocolate at like 6 a.m. and not care. Dark chocolate, again, that kind of thing. You could have what are they called? Snacker Jacks. Other brands are available, but you know, the rice cakes, that kind of thing. You could even put a little bit of peanut butter on some rice cakes. I just eat the flavored rice cakes, and I was perfectly fine with that. But if you do need a little bit more inside of you, then a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of jam, something like that on there as well. Donald is having to go to the hospital on Saturday for an intravenous vitamin D infusion. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. So don't end up at that level. Poor Donald, bless him. Yeah, that's definitely not. But again, you guys are in Scotland. So not all of you. I'm talking to Joe specifically here. But this is it. Your sunlight hours are significantly less at that point in the UK. So it could well be, if you are in Scotland, that you do genuinely consider your vitamin D and actually taking that supplement, because it does make a big difference even having less sunlight hours up there. So yeah, that could be a consideration for you as well, Joe. I know you're not from there, but you might notice that. Salted caramel Snacker Jacks are my fave at the moment. This is it. Yeah, Snacker Jack, anything. And again, you can get them in Aldi. Dirt cheap. Aldi, Lidl, different flavors. I think they do like chili flavors, salt and vinegar flavored, plain. So you can get lots of different options. Half a slice of toast, a slice of toast. Do you know what I mean? Anything. You just, something that's quick and easily digestible, something that you can have on the move. If you train a lot later, you would prefer to have slower digesting carbs in your system. So that's where you might have a full breakfast first. So, like your oats, something a little bit more substantial, where the energy that comes out of them is released far slower. But if you're training first thing, you want that fast energy release. So, like a banana, like your rice cakes, things that are going to break down really, really fast and be available energy to you. Does anybody have any other questions? We've got one more minute. If anybody would like to chip in or add. Did you find that useful? Was that helpful? Yeah, good, perfect. Right, well, I will love you and leave you all. Keep warm. Let's hope. I think the weather, like I say, is getting a little bit kinder to us this week, but it just means now I've got muddy paws everywhere. It's quite nice when it's frosty, no muddy paws. Now they're literally covered. So yeah, enjoy. Right, peace out. Love you all. Have a fabulous week. Bye.